Hold on.
Whatever. You want to cover any topics on the list, or we can just do a quick
Well, I didn't
before
know
and
if you
after.
wanted to do like a 10-minute before and 10-minute after type of thing.
Yeah, it's fine. You want to cover any topics, or we got stuff we got to talk about. I guess we want to keep it relevant. Like I said, I think we kind of have to talk about Matt Gaetz. That thing's blowing up.
Yeah, we can talk about what happened this week type thing.
Yeah. All right. Let me start. We'll do the before first, and then we'll do the after. So let's not reference Elephant Boy till we do the thing after. Unless you want to do that first, just to get it over with. Shut the fuck up, motherfucker. It would have been fun to do a bracket with him, but that's fine.
Yeah.
All right. that was fun. All right, here we go. I hate when I wish I could change the notes color though. I know this is like, I'm not going to put this in the podcast, obviously, but I hate when I have white to my left because it blows up my face. You see what I'm saying? All right, That's fine. All right, fuck you. All right. Welcome to a new episode of The Usual Saints. I'm Mike D here with Jeremy. Vinny wasn't able to be here tonight, and Saint, as usual, is gone. But hey, he says he's going to be back in a
month or two.
Yeah, he says
as usual. That's funny.
Oh, it's true. Listen, he sends in the videos. I'm not bagging on him. He's my boy, but he's been on the boat for months. I think he said less than a month though. He should be back. So
I didn't think gay cruises went this long.
You never been on one? Are you sure?
No.
All right.
That's a long Alaskan cruise at this point. I'm just saying he's been up there for like 3 months. It's just usually they're about a week. You're in, you're out. You know. Maybe a day or two in Seattle, and that's it. I don't get this.
Are you sure you haven't been on a gay cruise? You're talking about in out 7 days, So
yeah.
Are gay jokes PC? I'm not quite sure where
not
we're
really.
At there.
No, not really, but whatever.
If we have any gay listeners, we're not trying to offend you. We're just trying to have fun. Jeremy's a very offensive person, though. Look at that face. So.
Speaking of offensive, the light you're using for your camera is awesome. It brings out that gray in your beard really well.
That's not offensive. Shit, I love my salt and pepper look. I got it in my hair too. Tough to see.
Salt and pepper. No, they use the term salt and pepper for attractive men. I'm just saying.
Oh, you're so funny. We should get some females on here and take a poll, or men who like other men. That's fine too.
We're not going X-rated. Nobody's taking a poll.
Are we going back to the taking the poll on the gay cruise?
It's too easy. Who's there? Anyway, moving forward.
So tonight on the show, we're going to be interviewing Fred Schreiber, otherwise known as Elephant Boy, who's a whack packer from the Howard Stern show. So that should be fun.
Go ahead and ruin the surprise.
Well, we want to make sure we announce it at the top so people stick around for the B side and listen.
I'm pretty sure you're going to make it the title of the episode, so I don't think there was a lot of surprise there. No real reason to mention that.
Listen, motherfucker.
Whatever.
I got to put it in there, okay? All right. So loser, what's been going on with you this week?
Started working a lot of work, but working midnight, so that's a lot of fun. Just waking up a couple hours ago. Went and got my vaccine today. My one-shot vaccine because I really don't like needles. So
you got the Johnson & Johnson?
Johnson. Yeah. We'll see how it works out.
But did you even feel it?
Yes.
What? Oh, come on, dude. Both my vaccines, I couldn't even feel it.
Hold on. Maybe that's the problem because you did end up getting COVID after getting the vaccine. So maybe they didn't actually give you the shots. You should have paid more attention.
The incubation period or whatever they call it, it's 2 weeks, Jeremy. So it wasn't really effective till the 2 weeks after the first shot. So
just saying.
Okay.
I'm just saying it might not have worked. So maybe there was a reason. I'm just putting it out there. You gotta have a conspiracy theory.
Okay. Did you wind up watching Bad Trip?
No.
God damn it, man. I give you homework.
Yeah. It's just like in school. I don't do it until the last minute, and I just didn't get to it.
You can watch it with the boys and with Christine. They would all love it. You talk about family time. Do it.
I don't know if the kids would love that, but okay.
Oh yeah, they would. They would laugh their ass off. Listen, your kids watch a lot different stuff than what Sophie watches. Okay?
What else you got going on this week? Did you go back to work?
Yeah, I went back to work a week from so April 2nd, because I don't want to confuse everyone because we're recording on Saturday. We're going to post it on Sunday. Yeah, I went back to work April 2nd.
Last week. Yeah. All right. How's that
Yeah.
going?
It's tough to get back in the swing of things. Like I said, we really don't discuss it, but it's tough to remember stuff. Like I'm forgetting little things here and there, but I'm doing the main part of the job. So
got you sitting at home doing nothing.
I don't know. You robotic slowed down internet there. What would you say? You were like, yeah, you I'm doing nothing. Is that what you said?
You're really gonna go there when you're the one who's lost your entire computer for 5 minutes earlier?
Whoa. Hey,
I don't want to hear it.
Fuck off.
Hey,
that was thunder and lightning. That had nothing to do with the internet.
You don't have a battery backup? What the hell?
I mean, I should probably get one, but then my internet still would have gone out, right? I mean, it wouldn't have been connected.
I don't know.
Even with the Ethernet.
The internet still works.
I don't trust Comcast for shit. So, but yeah, it's going. It's fine. I went out to lunch with some coworkers the other day. I had some fun. So I'm getting back in the swing of things. Plus, they're happy to have me back because they're
really.
Listen, if you, again, without getting too much into it, if you're getting 3 cases a day as opposed to me coming back and you get 1 case a day, which one would you prefer, Jeremy?
It would be tight. I just got to be honest. There's pros and cons to both. I'm just saying.
Listen, Homer, my job's a little different than yours. Okay, so fuck off.
Whatever.
Are you the one who put the Lil Nas X up on the topic list, or is that Vinny?
No. You think I put that up there? Really? Have we talked before?
All right, so we'll talk about that when Vinny comes back. I mean, I don't really know much about it except for like what I saw on John Oliver, and I think it's hilarious. Like, I don't give a shit if Lil Nas X is twerking on the devil or making blood sneakers. Let him do him. He's an entrepreneur. I don't give a shit.
I have no idea what you're talking about, so I'll have to look this up.
You got to watch the video.
Right.
Like I said, I've seen the clips. You know who Lil Nas X is, right?
Musician, I think, right?
Yeah, he's a rapper, whatever you want to call it. But he did the country song with Billy Ray Cyrus too.
Yeah.
I forget the name of his new song.
That song's good. I like that one.
Yeah, it's okay. The new song is, I guess, the video. I forget what happens, but then he winds up going to hell and he's twerking on Satan. And then now that's the one thing. So all the conservatives are freaking out about that because A, probably because he's gay, B, because he's twerking on this other man who's Satan dressed up in costume. Plus there's Satan. So that's the whole religious aspect of it that people are freaking out about. But then apparently he made Satan sneakers, which I guess there may have been a Nike logo. I'm not even totally 100% on that, but like Nike wound up making them stop selling them, but allegedly there was blood in each sneaker. So like, I don't know if it was a drop or something. It's a selling point, man. It's a selling tactic. It's just like back in the day when people would, say something controversial just to get more attention. Like, I have no problem with this guy doing whatever the hell he wants as long as he's not hurting anyone else, but people are all up in arms about it. So
no, I don't care.
That's where we're at, but
he can do whatever he wants.
We're gonna cover whatever we can cover without Vinny, but we'll bring that up again next week since he obviously has some strong opinions on it, putting it on the list. What are your thoughts about Biden reversing Trump's policy about transgender people being allowed to serve in the military?
No, it's fine. I got no issues with it.
Good. That's what I was hoping to hear.
I don't plan on serving in the military, so anybody else who wants to can go right ahead and do that.
Exactly. And I think
appreciate their hard work.
I think we had that conversation when we were talking about I don't know if the guy who committed suicide, the guy from Talladega Nights. I think we had the same conversation where I was like, listen, military is a job to me, but I'm not going to be doing it. Like, when 9/11 happened, I had, for a day, I said, I should go join the army, blah, 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 but I didn't. So anyone who wants to join the army and protect the country and earn a living that way, go have at it, because it ain't going to be me. So I don't care if you're transgender. I don't care if you're male, female, gay, not gay, straight, cis, what do they call them? Anything else? Lesbian? I don't know. Anything. Yeah, I don't give a shit. Go do it. There's
too many letters. I don't know what they all mean anymore. Do what you want to do.
There are so many letters. I don't even know. It's LGBTQ. I know there's some more. I know there's a plus in there too.
I'm still surprised there's no C or S for cis or straight. just because everybody should be included.
Oh, you're back on the everyone should be included.
I'm just saying.
Here, let's talk about something that I don't know. Did you see that video of that? I think it was a lieutenant in the Army that got pulled over in December, and he had two cops. If you obviously didn't see it because I can tell from your reaction, he had two cops pull him over because he had no tag on the back of his car, but he had the temporary tag in the back windshield like he's supposed to. They put on the lights to start a stop. He didn't stop right away because he was looking for a lit area because I think he is Black and Hispanic. And, you know, with everything going on in the country, I don't blame the guy. He wants to pull into a well-lit gas station. So a minute and 40 seconds after the stop was initiated, he pulled into a BP gas station. The cops, you know, immediately pull their guns because they allegedly consider it a felony traffic stop because he didn't pull over right away, I guess. And this guy's in his like fatigues and he's in his truck and he's cooperating, but he's saying, I'm afraid to get out of the car. And these cops are saying shit back to him like, you should be afraid. And so, like, I mean, you gotta in today with everything going on in the country, with the climate the way it is, you gotta recognize, I know you're an officer, I know you're putting your life on the line, but you also have to appreciate what people, especially people of color, what must be going through their head when a traffic stop is initiated. Yes, you have to protect yourself, and I don't disagree with that at all. But at the same time, guns drawn immediately, both. And then when he wouldn't get out of the car, they tried to armbar him out of the car somehow. It didn't work. Then they pepper sprayed him. And he had a dog in the crate in the back of the car. The dog started choking. They get him out of the car after the pepper spray. He's on the ground. They handcuff him. You know, this is all on body cam. And you know, basically they're threatening him, saying, if you don't report this or do anything about this, then we won't charge you with anything. We won't charge you with whatever they were going to charge him with, you know, traffic stuff. And then on top of that, whatever other civil stuff they can get him with. So now he's filed a lawsuit against them. And, you know, the body cam just clearly shows what happened. And again, I've never been a police officer, so go ahead.
The issues I have with it, you know, you should be afraid. That part is a problem for me. Yeah, that's not cool. I have no problem with them having their weapons out when they pull him over, because he did take a minute and a half or whatever to pull over. You don't know if that guy's, you know, calling his girlfriend saying, hey, it's over. He's pulling a gun to, you know, shoot at the cop. You don't know what he's doing in that minute and 40 seconds, why he's not pulling over. You can't assume that he's looking for a well-lit area. And, you know, how the interaction goes when the cop comes up, the cops got their guns out. They ask you to get out of the car. You got to get out of the car. That's how it works. So he escalated it somewhat by refusing to get out of the car. The cops were definitely in the wrong with how they were talking to him. If that's the case, you know, you should be afraid and stuff. No, that's, you know, if the guy's got his hands up, hey man, I'm freaked out. I'm afraid. My hands are on the wheel. I'm freaked out. I was just looking for a well-lit area. The cops need to de-escalate at that point. But at the same time, the driver can't refuse to get out of the car and refuse to listen to commands, because at a certain point, then it becomes, you know, he is doing something wrong. He is not responding to the officer's directions to get out of the car, because until he's out of the car, they can't just make the assumption that, yeah, this is a good guy. You know, you can't always have the assumption that, well, that guy in the car has the assumption those cops are bad, and he's scared. The cops have to have the assumption that the guy in the car might be hiding something and they want to get him out and control the situation. That to me is, they both made the cops obviously fucked up. I mean, there's no excuse for what they said, but at the same time, you can't escalate the encounter by refusing to follow a lawful, not command or order. I don't know what you would want to call it, but you know, hey, that cop wants to be safe as well as you want to be safe. So if they just want you out of the car so they can ensure you don't have any weapons on you because you spent almost a minute and a half driving after they started trying to pull you over, I can understand where they're coming from in that, but their other attitude is a problem for me. And then the whole trying to make a deal about, you know, hey, don't report this and we won't charge you. That's fucked up as well. But that's after the point. I mean, there's no excuse in that as well.
Do you know the legality of it? Because I'm not sure. I haven't looked it up. if they're ordering you out of the car, because listen, it's a traffic stop. That's all it is at this point. Okay. I remember back, this was a few years ago before everything started blowing up with, Black Lives Matter and a lot of these cases coming forward. I remember someone saying something about like they would carry around, and it wasn't someone I know, I read it somewhere. They would carry around their license and their insurance in like a Ziploc bag. And I think they put like a note or something in it, and they literally just hung it outside their window if they got pulled over. And that way that's what the cop needed, right? That's what they need.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know how...
Do you have to respond if they tell you to get the fuck out of the car? Like, I mean, is that something that has to be done? I mean, obviously you probably want to if you're innocent and have nothing, but at the same time, I understand him being scared with everything, the way the country is.
Yeah. I mean, they don't get as much play on the news, at least nationally, usually locally when it happens, but there's, police video of cops walking up to cars and talking to an old lady or a young girl or a young guy and just sitting there talking, and the cops, they're having a conversation as a normal traffic stop. And all of a sudden, the person in the car just pulls a gun from next to him and shoots him. It happens. Right. They have to protect themselves. They're doing their job, but both parties need to, kind of use common sense and be smart about how they handle these situations to de-escalate them. It's not all on the cops to de-escalate every situation. The other side needs to not make it worse as well. I get being afraid, but you gotta, being afraid doesn't mean you can just do what you want and not, make the situation any easier on everybody.
I understand,
you're saying,
but shouldn't the cops training be in de-escalation at least one class, hopefully? So I mean, that should be something they're trained in. But I understand what you're saying.
At what point should they have de-escalated that? How?
I mean, I think as soon as he started, and again, I to be perfectly clear with everyone,
I didn't see the video. I didn't see if his hands were on the wheel. I didn't see if windows down, hands on the wheel. Not were they, or were his hands in his lap or next to him? Or
no, I get
there's a big difference there in how that could and should be handled. And if the guy's hands were sitting on the wheel and he's hey, I'm just scared. I got no issue with you. I'll get out of the car. The windows are down. There's nobody else in the car. I'm just scared. I was looking for a well-lit area. Yeah, the cops should be de-escalating at that point. But at the same time, as they're de-escalating him, he should be, as they should be talking to him, and he should be, okay, well, we understand that. We just need you to get out of the car for our safety and yours, so we can make sure you got no weapons on you. That should have been how that went, and it wasn't.
Right.
So I don't know who made that mistake, but it's not all on the cops either, depending on how the reaction goes. If you're sitting there yelling at the cop and and being antagonistic, how do they de-escalate that and assume that you're not a threat if you're taking a aggressive approach with them? How? I mean, how do you do that?
You want to
I don't know about you. I mean, I was taught that if you get pulled over, put your, roll down your window, put your hands on the wheel. Don't be moving around a lot when the cop's walking up to the car. Makes him less nervous, makes the whole situation better.
Yeah. I mean, I'm the same way, but I've dealt with some dick cops like that one FHP officer who pulled me over because said I was doing 90. And Jeremy, you know me, damn well. I have my cruise control set at 70. I have my cruise control set at 70.
I got pulled over by a cop when I was 16 because he said I was speeding, even though the car between me and him caught up to me because I was doing the speed limit because I saw the cop when I turned onto the road. So, I pulled you over for speeding. I wasn't speeding. Are you telling me your car is faulty? No, I'm telling you I wasn't speeding because the car between us caught up to me. Well, can I search your car? Sure. I'm on my way to work at McDonald's, but yeah. You want to search my car? Go ahead. I mean, and that cop, I didn't get a ticket that day because the cop had nothing on me because I didn't do anything wrong. He was just being a dick. But where we grew up, some of the cops had a problem with younger people. It's an older community, at least it was, and some of the cops felt, entitled to harass teenagers.
Were you driving the Square Mobile or the RAV4?
No, I was in the white one still. I wasn't even in the,
what was that? A Prism?
No, the Prism was the second one. That was a Spectrum.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Let's see. Let's talk about two deaths before we go to break because we like to end on a high note. We got Prince Philip died. To me, that's not so much a shocker. He was 99. He looked like
Yeah,
a corpse.
yeah.
I mean, it was what it was. Did you watch The Crown though? I forget if we talked about that.
I watched season 1 or
Okay.
most of season 1. So that was kind of when he was doing all his or at least alleged to be got on a boat traveling the world sleeping with natives type thing and treating his wife like crap. So I don't know how much of that is historical and how much is obviously embellished. So but I don't know. It seemed she was pretty young when they started their relationship. It seemed a little weird. So I mean that and the fact
he wasn't much older than her because she's in her 90s now too, I think, right?
Still there?
Yeah. What? Can't you hear me? Hello?
Yeah. You went away for a minute. Sorry.
I'll have to cut that out. Yeah, I mean, I don't think that am I still good?
Yeah.
Okay, sorry. I don't think that he was that much older than her because she's in her 90s too, right? I think she's like 93. I don't know, something like that.
Yeah, but I think they first met when she was like 12 and he was 18 or something, if I remember correctly. I mean,
that's the royal family for you.
That's a pretty that, and they're also cousins.
Identical cousins. What a pair.
I mean, there was the whole, his family was pretty big. I think both his sisters were married to Nazis. I mean, his mom was fairly large, and he's over the years he had made some pretty horrible comments. So he's not the. I mean, he hurt those people pretty badly in the traffic accident a year or two. I mean, he's not the picture of what you want your royals to be, I guess.
Oh, wait, Prince Philip was driving when that happened a year or two ago.
Yeah,
you said? Okay. And not 97.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, it was only 2 or 3 years ago. He was in his and I think they made him more or less give up his license.
Right.
At that point.
Yeah, I mean, if you watch The Crown, they have to say in interviews, and they don't put a warning on the show, but they do say that it's fictionalized in some sense because obviously the royal family's not cooperating with this because they wouldn't do that.
Well, see, that was the part of this that I found kind of interesting today is Harry, I guess, is going to go over to the funeral himself because Meghan's doctor recommends she not travel as she's currently pregnant.
Right.
I'm curious to see when TMZ shows them traveling all over the place in America and just not traveling over there because, the timing of their interview probably could not have been worse for him to pass away a couple weeks later.
Are you saying it killed him?
No, but it's gonna be an awkward situation. I mean, yeah, we're family, but I called you all a bunch of racists and said you hate my wife, and oh, shit.
Maybe, I mean, if it's true about the racism, maybe he was the one who was a little racist towards her.
I remember the story came out that they said it was not him or the Queen. Those are the two people they said it was not, and I think most people agree it was. I think the Queen's sisters, who most people think it was.
Okay. All right. Well, he's dead. So, and the sadder one for me, and I don't know. Well, listen, I just don't know the guy. I don't care. He was a prince, and that doesn't make any sense to me. Why wasn't he a king if he's married to a queen? Blah blah blah. British royal family doesn't make any sense to me. Anyway, poor DMX. Yeah, that was like I said, he was the soundtrack to my late teens and early 20s. I would pop him in. I would play Perfect Dark.
Come on, that was Britney Spears. Don't be lying.
No, I really don't like Britney Spears music.
One more time.
I don't like the music that much. I can watch the videos. I don't like the music.
You just mute them?
Yes.
Just watch them on mute?
But DMX, and then there was X, man. You got Party Up. I know you know Party Up. That was a pretty famous song. And then obviously he has My Name Is DMX. I love that album. I can sing most of it. I think he had a heart attack. I think it was allegedly drug related. Obviously he had issues over the years, going in and out of rehab and whatnot. And that sucks. I mean, I remember he was in that movie with Jet Li, which wasn't so bad. I forget the name of it though. But he was an actor too. I wasn't that big into him as an actor, but that album, man, I still can pop it in. As soon as I heard he died, I put it on for Heather the other day, and she was listening to it. And she was enjoying it, to the extent she could. She was laughing at like the skits of him trying to teach loyalty above about earning money and that kind of thing. And it's like, boy, there's really like a code here. That kind of thing. But poor dude, I wish he could have got help. And he was only 50, man. That's not too much older than me and you. So it makes you think, yeah, he's running a little bit more of a rougher life than us, but come on, dude. That just sucks.
That doesn't, well, we'll talk about that after the interview.
All right. Well, we'll talk about that. We'll take a quick break. You've been listening to Mike D and Jeremy on The Usual Saints. We'll be right back. Give me some fucking after talk, motherfucker. You want the after talk?
Well, you're not that interesting.
Eat a dick again. That's gonna be my new thing for you.
All right.
I would say that eat a bag of dicks like Louis C.K. likes to say, but we really can't reference Louis C.K. anymore without getting in trouble.
Yeah.
Okay, that's it.
Sorry, we'll get his Kmart computer working here in a minute. How are you doing today?
I'm doing fine. This is all good.
Yeah, sorry. I'm
Yeah,
trying to
I understand.
help him get back in.
Yeah. Oh, I see. Yeah, there you are. Yeah, I see him.
He's still
Working,
ugly, but
hang
he's
on.
back.
Yeah. Okay, Mike, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay. So whenever you're ready, guys.
What are you saying? You saying I got a Kmart PC, Fred? What's going on here?
I don't know. It could be Latin striker, show your power. I have no idea.
Yeah, sorry about that. We have a severe thunderstorm down here in Florida, and so it just knocked everything out, and I didn't think that was going to happen. So apologize.
Okay.
All right.
In that case, I apologize to your camera computer.
You're funny, man. All right. So I'll just go ahead and kind of start like we're coming back from break, and then
Okay.
I'll introduce you, and then we'll just do a quick interview, some questions. You can say whatever you want. You can advertise your cameo, and we'll go from there. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Cool. All right. Here we go. All right. Well, welcome back to The Usual Saints. I'm Mike Deere here with Jeremy. Vinny is out today with Saint. They're hanging out somewhere in the Bering Sea or something like that. But hey, we got a special surprise guest. We have Fred Schreiber, who some may know as Elephant Boy. He was on the Howard Stern show for a long time. He's I guess a whack packer, one of the originals, probably. One of the second tier. You came in like in the late 80s or mid 80s, Fred, is that right?
In November of 88,
Okay.
and then 2 weeks later I was at the famous fun but the FCC Christmas show 2 weeks later.
Okay. And I mean, what spurred the first appearance? Were you a listener and you called in, or how did you get into the whack pack?
Where at that time in the fall, they had, if you remember, the Terresco who scammed Howard, thinking that she had a real specified to me. I said to a friend who I was working with, if you could find a specific pattern me, that's pathetic. I should be on the show, with my specific pattern. And so what we did is during the rest of the morning, we both composed a letter, sent it to karaoke in the city of New York. A couple of days later, I got a call back from Gary to see whether I was legit. And when he heard me, he knew I was legit. And then the next day, Harry called me on the air, to hear. I was going to say it for to hear it for himself. And he saw box office gold with me, and he invited me for a day on Friday. So that was like a very busy week for me.
Well, that's good, man. I mean, you became, I'd say, an instant star. I started listening in the mid '90s to Stern, and I mean, I remember you as far back as I can. You were always a part of the show. I mean, obviously, this isn't the Howard Stern show, but I'll bring up some of your bits. I mean, obviously they have the whole I don't know how you feel about it. I think you got a laugh out of it when you called into that chat line. That they played the hell out of that for years.
I can say I was a whole young man with no avenue. So maybe this happens. So who knows what will happen if this continue and I meet the wrong people.
Right.
Yeah.
Are you still in touch? I haven't heard you on the show. I listen every day. I haven't heard you in a while. Are you still do you still listen to the show? Are you are you in touch with anyone?
Not that much since the pandemic. I rather listen to New York local radio. I did have issue with him when I would become too political volatile, and I don't know what his political opinions are, but it was going against what I believe. Like I said, I have no idea which side of the spectrum you are, but I am not going to, chastise you if in a general way, against your particular political thoughts. And that's why it to me, like, Papi, I was for Trump, not I am like a big supporter, but and I can say, in the balance of nature, a little more to, I was going to say Stone, Trump than, than whomever. But it's not like I am a psychopath when it comes to Trump. There was news of a big rally where I live. I said, I'm not going to say too many people. I'm afraid, but I suppose them not if they want to do something really stupid and crazy.
Right. And I mean, was that the main issue? Is it, and I don't know if it was just Howard or if it was some of the other guys that would like bag on you about politics. Is that kind of what drove you away?
Yeah, that's it. It was, well, in general, it becoming too mainstream. That's President Howard you hear today is not the same Howard from when you first listened to him. now it's a little, you know, more formatted. Let's say it does actually interview, but if you don't like that person is interview, to me, it's a waste of time. Some
Yeah.
people, I don't care what they say or what happened to them or how they cut their, I went to turn off the radio. Yeah, but it does, go into a typical body conversation with them, and then it seems to me that he doesn't need me on the show as much now than back then because his staff is the new whack pack. It can pick up, any intricacies of of his staff. The back room, how to say it, he would find something to exploit. Not, I'm not angry with that because it's for him to capture. There's no arrangement for the show to call me or to inform me on the show. I don't know if he has a guest. Do they come into the studio or just recently or everything's done over the phone or at a studio line?
Yeah, everything lately I think is via. I assume it's Zoom. I'm not watching like the videos except for the ones they put online. Yeah, he hasn't left the home since last March, except for like to go to the dentist.
Just, I don't need a trip to say. I believe if this is it for me, it's been a wonderful ride for me. So I have no bitter emotion with in that aspect. Without I am not a phone caller, but I cannot see myself ready on the phone, trying to get up because all this time until this past Friday, I've been working at a job. I just retired at the end of this week, so maybe now I will be able to call him up. But to me, if there's like instead of a local market, the market's now all over the net, it would be hard to get me through. So maybe all the time I wanted to go up the show, I would get busy singles.
So if you're retiring, are you moving to Arizona or Florida to retire and sit in the sun and drink daiquiris?
Well, I am too spoiled by New York guts or whatever's left of it, and I have no plans of moving away, or if you look at it, so, but who knows what will happen in the future, for me.
Okay. I know Jeremy, listens to Stern whenever he can. Like I said, he's only on 3 days a week now. So, I mean, I just download it and listen whenever I can. But am I right was the last time you were on, was it the Prostate Karaoke or were you on after that?
Well, I did like a, what's it prostate? I told
it was I remember the Prostate Karaoke.
I thought it was some kind of karaoke, but it was for some prostate with the podiatrist doctor. Now I remember. You see, sometimes it'd be so long for some of those old bits that you forgot that I will have to dip in my memory for that. Yes. I wouldn't say that was fun, but that was amusing. and if I was in there listening, I would find it funny. So maybe I didn't object as much. By the way,
Yeah,
I was real healthy. There was no need for a follow-up visit.
Oh, I mean,
Yeah,
it was definitely entertaining, you know, to
yeah.
listen to. But I mean, I've never been in that position that you were in,
Oh,
figuratively and literally.
that's where you get to be 50. Mark my words.
I'm not looking forward to it, but
Yeah.
I remember at that time, I think I forget if it was Gary or whatnot. They kind of were making a little bit of fun of you and whatnot. Were you actually like offended
Yeah.
that day? I remember you walked out.
Oh,
I don't
yeah,
know.
I did. I forgot a second what was said, but
I remember.
yeah,
I think Gary said that.
I think it was something. It may not be the total truth. So I'm not saying that as a fact. Just from the research. I'm a memory. It could be that if you start to make gay references, because because if I have a process exam, that means probably a lot of things in me, and that's not true. So I think I was like a little sensitive, and I was really getting angry by Dr. Spence anger because when I left the exam room and went out the corridor in the doctor office, just the door, Gary stopped me. Excuse me. Okay, sorry, I don't have a cough button. Uh, so Gary stopped me. He could hear me seething, breathe with anger. And maybe not with a choir, but with anger. But then I come down and continue it. I just need like a little reassurance because I don't speak bad of people in general, except that rotten webhacker that will remain nameless.
I think I know who you're talking about. Jeremy hasn't listened in a while. Jeremy, you don't have to say anything, Fred. But Jeremy, you look like you want to say.
I'm just curious which whackpacker it is. I'm trying to think in my head. I'm trying to remember.
Yeah,
Really, you can't figure it out. He just kind of stated it without saying.
Yeah, because I don't need threatening message from Happy Harry to say, you better stop talking about me or I will kill you.
That's a very accurate impersonation there.
They had a whole feud for a little bit. Eric, I guess, was threatening him on Twitter and stuff, and that's not cool. And Howard got on him about that. So I mean, you can't do that like legally. Like you can get in a lot of trouble for that shit. So
he's scary.
What I can understand him being a slow dad. Maybe not. I wish it is not an exception to the rules of living in a society.
Right.
If he cannot control its anger, he needs to be under the support of for the lack of a healthcare worker to see him, and if he cannot if he cannot stop sending threatening emails, texts, or whatever social media, his person the control should let them away from him.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if he's considered a vulnerable adult, but I know what you mean. I mean, I've obviously listened for years, so I mean,
I am not an expert. I never talked to him much to begin with because with people like him, because Eric has been nothing but trouble. Always make I want to say get into schemes or whatever scams, whatever you want to call it. I say, I don't want to bother with them. You know, if it's something for the show, that's one thing, but I don't want to know him in a person nature.
Right.
You know,
Understand.
and to so I am an undecided person. I was good friends with Crackhead Bob when he was alive. Now
Yeah.
I know the life he did before he cut his strokes or whatever you want to call it, his ailments. You know, I don't want to spend 2 minutes with that type of person, but but that he's into recovery more. It's a good person, and when you know, if you want to come in when I'm doing it, where's my phone? 1 second.
Sure,
No
man.
problem.
I'll go back to that. This is more important. Okay, so I was talking but as a handicapped person, Papa still had to be with, and since he cannot, travel by himself, I took him to places where he lived on Long Island, if you know. So I take it I do to the movies because it's really not a theater in his areas. So I took him to see what the latest hot movie, at that time. And, and instead of for him to go to a fast food restaurant to get like a snack to eat, I took him to a nice sit down restaurant, and that was good, good for him. He got him out of his house, and I think
Yeah.
he's like appreciated.
You were a good friend, yeah.
And so that because if a person is slow and handicapped, it doesn't mean that I don't want to spend time with him. It just how he performs in his life. I
Yeah,
don't I don't want to hang out and be in the middle of trauma.
of course. But I mean, to the point of where you're talking about, slow adult and whatnot, you don't mind hanging out with them. I feel like, with your life and with your speech impediment, you probably have developed a lot of patience because you feel like you hope people are patient with you and,
Yeah,
listening to you. And so I feel like that probably helps you with relating to people, whether it's whack
you
packers or
know,
just people in general.
they say uh, I, that's one good thing about being a part of Howard's show. He broke down the fourth wall between me and potential stranger. I mean, I was very shy when I first came on the show back when I did the dates and the famous Christmas show, so, but within time, I was able to get a more outgoing personality, and that way, uh, I'd use, you know,
Yeah.
if you want, I was going to say, if you want to, you know, snap at me with your sense of humor, I am not able to give give you the same thing,
Right.
you doesn't, if you want to say, hey, how you doing, Mopper Mouth? I don't say, oh, I've been so happy, so I'm happy to take it. I say, oh, I'm fun, but not whatever a good shot, but I don't take it personally as much. But if it comes off around me, that's another thing.
Right. And just so you know, I'm originally from Hempstead on Long Island, so I know the area a
You
little
got
bit.
my
I've been
sympathies.
That's true. That's what everyone says about Hempstead. Jeremy, what are you trying to say? Jeremy, you look like you're biting at the bit to say something.
Long Island, it's great. Yeah, everything's great. So I want to go back. Yeah.
I
This
do,
place
but
sucks. It's the best place ever to live. I haven't lived there since I was 6, but I know that's probably much better than where I live now. And
I was
here
9
for 30 years.
Listen, I was 9 when I moved. Thank you, but I still visit. I'm going up again for my niece's or my cousin, I guess, her graduation. So I mean, I love Long Island. You hear Fred? He said he wouldn't leave New York even if he could go somewhere else.
Wait, did you get an invitation? Because I'm guessing that was just so you'd send a gift. They don't actually want you there.
I've already discussed with them. Thank you. I'm sure they want me there. Thanks. And by the way, she wants an Apple Watch, rich man. So if you want to pay for that, Jeremy,
get her the old one. It's cheap. So Fred, I got a question for you.
Go ahead.
Yes.
So how do you feel about this whole COVID-19? Are you going to get a vaccine?
I have asked not because I haven't been to a doctor since the vaccine came about. So I do have a doctor's appointment next week. It happens to be. So now, at first, I was very late. I'm going to a big ballpark stadium arena to get a shot. I went to just go to a doctor office, set up for what's up the thing. So the doctor sending you and just give me a shot. I don't want to go to a big venue, to get a shot. So hopefully it will recommend me to someplace I can take it in a more less populated area.
So you're taking COVID pretty seriously and trying to take precautions.
Yeah, I mean, I prefer not to wear a mask because the rules are in general it's okay for that particular industry to be matched, or maybe you can cut the 6 feet to a small distance, but doing like a place that's indoor, they we have to keep it closed. Who knows how many people will suffer, and for most part, about it, I don't hang out with, with there's a lot of people. I've been very quiet myself. I said, I'm taking care of myself. So, hopefully one day, if I go out and meet people, that's one thing. And hopefully soon, when we reach the immunity level, I can hang out with more people.
So speaking of hanging out with people, are you a Mets fan? Are you waiting to get back to Citi Field?
I don't know. It's very rarely I go to ball games even before the pandemic. But I don't live that far from Citi Field, so who knows if there are more people in, maybe I would grab a ticket or two during the rest of the year.
Nice. Are you a big baseball guy, or are you into? I'm a big NFL guy. I don't know if you can see the Steelers flag, the Steelers towel behind me. But
I am not as big of a sports fan as I used to be. I just got sick and tired of it. If it's, excuse me, make believe I'm best speak off about it. When it comes to sport, it's too complicated when it comes to people in sports, because within a couple of years, there are gym strands. I have to remember the new people, and the old stars from from the league. So I don't need to follow as that much. Like I say, if a game is on, I will see it. Yeah. If I miss it, it's no big thing.
Okay. And you, Jeremy, go ahead. You look like you're saying something.
I was gonna say, you said you're retiring this week. What kind of work was it you were doing?
I work for the government, so I have a good
Like CIA or
I was gonna say
where
that.
your clause is 3 letters by it is FDA.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So you keep people safe, huh?
Yeah, it's yeah. I thought I may want to check your house to see any kind of medicine is approved.
All right.
Yeah.
You mentioned, you were close with Crackhead Bob when he was live, and I definitely miss him. Hearing him, he had some great bits on the show over the years. Is there anyone else, whether it's from Whack Pack or from the show, that you were really close with, or you still are close with, or in contact with?
Maybe I do only know. Let me see. There's like Marianne from Brooklyn. She she's the closest thing I have to a mother since my mother passed away, and also like like a pest phone caller, speech impediment man. I'm good friends with him. Because he's from Pittsburgh originally, and I friends in Pittsburgh. We always hang out when we visit. Always because we're medicated Pete.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm a fan of Medicaid P. He's a funny guy. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm just trying to figure out like what with the whole political scene now, how it is today. And again, I'm not trying to, get too deep into it, but I mean, what do you think of where we're headed now, with the new administration and whatnot? It doesn't have to be a serious answer, but we talk about everything on this podcast. We're funny. We get serious when we have to, but obviously the vaccine rollout is good. I'm double vaccinated, so I'm pretty good.
For you.
Yeah, I mean, I did get COVID, so that sucked, but I didn't get it from the vaccine.
Yeah.
I got my vaccine today.
Yeah. So, what do you think about like the rollout, how everything's been done, even if you were a Trump supporter, like you said, but didn't go to the rallies?
Yeah, well, especially I feel for me, there's like how to say what Sarah said, who's only duty is to check to see if there's anybody from either side that doesn't follow the the black side of the Democratic Party. They will look for information to run there. Now, I'm sure there's some people that are right side that want to, whose only purpose of their employment is to run it a Democratic supporter. So what's new is this political intrigue is nothing new in this war. It becomes so prevalent.
Right. Okay. What about Cameo? Obviously, that's how I hit you up first. How's that going for you? Are you getting a lot of requests on there? You knocking them out? How many a day would you say you do?
Not that much as I used to. I should be, half a dozen more. I have to remember to do that when, when on social media. But
Right.
let me put it this way. For the first time in many years, I have, with my tax return, I finally have to share money to the state of New York. I always get a refund before, but because of my income from Cameo, they cut me now.
It's a
Gotcha.
great retirement job.
Yeah, like yeah, like I said. So if any people uh wants uh, me to deliver a message to a loved one or a happy birthday or whatever you want me to say, if it's not too obscene, uh, to uh, to go on Cameo and search for webpack using many other people and names, part of the webpack on Cameo. Just ignore them and look for me, Fred Schreiber, Schreiber. I also got my Monica, Elephant Boy. So look for me there, and it would be good money's worth for you for your listeners.
You had a pretty quick turnaround time too, it seemed.
Like I said, I respect my fans, so I don't get that ready. Oh, I just know there's Jeremy say you got talk as we talk,
Yeah, it the rainstorm from Mike's house just got to my house.
so you're both of Florida, so prepare for for address from Jeremy very soon.
And what obviously, they had the whole section on Cameo for the Whack Pack. So like you said, it was pretty easy for me to find you when I found that section. You were right there, and I was like, I'm definitely reaching out to Fred. So that's cool, and we'll touch on that before we end. But I wanted to kind of ask you about because you live in New York. And Jeremy's been all about the Cuomo situation that's been going on. Do you have any thoughts about, Cuomo and, whether it's the nursing home stuff or the sexual, what would that be? Harassment, Jeremy, I guess, maybe. I don't know what that's called. Go ahead, Jeremy.
Yeah, sexual harassment. I don't know. There's been much sexual assault accusations. It's mostly harassment.
Right.
That's if we thought Cuomo can be like a fair individual with women, have like a offensive attitude when it comes to uh, uh, treating women, like the man is born. You do as I say. None, none of what he did with them, with maybe a trip or suspension from HR. Without I don't think he's paying enough to pay a piece of. And when it comes to like the nursing home deaths.
Right.
I have to have to examine what was the orders of the CDC or whatever it's called, to control this disease from the federal government. Exactly what the order says and what did the those orders meant. So maybe Cuomo followed those orders too literally or in too much details or more than what was expected from the federal government. So I said, if I was a senator or representative in New York, I would have to fall if I despise him I have to know.
Now, there isn't a lot of press about it nationally. At least we don't see a lot about it down here anymore. It's kind of been moved out of the news cycle between the sexual harassment and the nursing home stuff. Is that still a big news up where you are?
No, like it died down. And now, the truck in New York, they say every time there's a new victim for Cuomo, one of those COVID-19 restriction would be lessened the next day.
Okay.
What do you think about? Have you heard anything? I'm assuming you have. It's national news. Have you heard anything about the Matt Gaetz scandal? That he's a Florida congressman. Have you been reading into that at all?
No, I wouldn't be surprised if this has happened because once I think what the politicians live from there with the armed rules, so they think they can get away with certain stuff. I haven't checked. You have to check with the victim. It could be something like with Cuomo with harassment, and there may not be any sexual content. If it is, it could be the guard was lying when they have they extend. So it needs to be proven in a court or a session of Congress.
Right. Hey, Jeremy, maybe we should try to reach out to Matt Gaetz and see if we can get him up on here.
Yeah, maybe.
We'll see how that goes.
Yeah, I'm guessing that's not going to happen. All right.
All right, Fred. Well, I mean, we really appreciate your time. I definitely want to plug your Cameo. Like you said, you can just go to Cameo, whether it's the app or the website, cameo.com, and just look for the Whack Pack and find you, Fred Schreiber. Is it Schreiber or Schreiber, Fred?
Schreiber.
Okay. All right, gotcha. And I see the link here in case anyone wants to remember it and hear it here. But like I said, that's the easiest way what Fred described. But it's cameo.com/Fred the Elephant Boy. But I would be remiss before I let you go. How did you get that moniker, Elephant Boy? Was it just Howard thought that was the clever thing to name you, or was there a backstory to that?
The backstory is the one time I was in the studio, and I would want to Robert, what do you think Fred the Elephant Boy sounds like? Is I think Fred sounds like this, and he play, I sing from the movie The Elephant Man,
Yeah.
And when I can't say how it make me with something like, I am not an animal, I am a human being. And then that stuck.
I got you. Okay, that makes total sense. Because like I'm 41 myself, so I'm thinking I guess I never heard that backstory. And so like I'm like elephant, like the animal, but no, Elephant Man. I've seen that film. I know what you're talking about. That makes sense now. All right, Fred. Well, I mean, I appreciate your time. Is there anything else you want to plug or say before we let you go?
No, just if any of you if any of you listener want to contact me, just kiss me. Okay. You may think I'm dying here with this coughing, but I'm sure I am okay.
Okay,
if they want to contact me, just look for Fred Schreiber on Facebook and the Real Elephant Boy on Twitter.
All right. Yeah, you're definitely responsive. So.
And if you message this sort of user suspect, I will automatically follow you.
All right, Fred. Well, like I said, I appreciate you taking the time to come talk to Jeremy and me. I wish Vinny was here tonight because he's a big Stern fan too. He would have loved to get an interview with you and our other guy, Saint. We're all huge fans, so this is a big get for us. We're really glad to have you on the show. And thank you for taking the time.
Just make sure you send my check for my appearance fee in the mail. No. It was my plan, sir.
I will definitely send it in the mail because the USPS will take a few years to get there. So it'll be there eventually, though.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you again, guys.
All right. Thanks. You've been listening to the usual.
You have a good night.
You too.
You've been listening to the Usual Saints. We'll be right back. That's fun. All right, welcome back to the Usual Saints. We just had that pretty fun interview with Fred Elephant Boy Schreiber.
To bring it back, so we referenced the age 50 twice this episode. Once because DMX was only 50 and we're not that much younger. Fred the Elephant Boy's reference of the age 50 scares me more than DMX, but that's because I don't want to go for the colonoscopy or whatever the hell it was he was getting done to him. But that, okay.
He had Prostate Karaoke, if you never listened to it. So what they did was, just for the listeners, in case they didn't hear it either, I think it was Eric Andre, it was probably Richard from Stern Show and a bunch of other staffers. Gary was there, but I don't think he was getting it done. I think he was just there to hold the mic. And Fred went there too. Excuse me. And they would lube up, it's basically a big dildo, but it's an ultrasound. It can scan inside. So rather than using a finger, it's something that's more accurate because you can get an actual picture of what your prostate looks like. And so the whole gag was that they would do the prostate exam. I think it's Dr. Fish from Sirius Radio, and they would do the prostate exam, and your job was to perform karaoke during the prostate exam. So like Eric Andre, when he did it, his is hilarious. He's like starting and he's all right, and he's like, oh my god, I'm gonna shit. So like apparently it makes you feel like you have to defecate. So that's fun. But that's rather than just that's rather than just the finger. And like I talked to you earlier and I referenced during the Fred interview, apparently there may have been, allegedly, I don't know, I wasn't there, Gary pointed out that Fred may have had some remnants from the exam that were on like the gown or something, and Fred wasn't too happy with that, and that's what happened there. But yeah, I've had a prostate exam with the dude's finger. Not really happy about it. That was a few years ago in an alley. Guy gave me $50.
I was gonna say, it wasn't at the doctor's office, was it? Beat me to it. Damn it.
I know. I beat you. I knew where you were gonna go. I've known you too long. No, it was at a doctor's office. Thank you. It was at my urologist several years ago. It's been a while.
It was an obstetrician. I don't know why. Or optometrist. Sorry. Damn it. I messed up the joke. An optometrist. I don't know why we were doing this, but hey, whatever.
It was at my psychologist's office. It didn't make any sense to me, but especially since she's not an MD. No, I did get a colonoscopy done. How old was I? I was 26, and the doctor that I know, the doctor that I went to, he just wanted to kind of like check me out for like. I know it's weird, but like I guess he thought I had IBS or something like that, and so like he's like, well, we can just do a colonoscopy and figure out what's going on, and I'm like, okay. And I had just got laid off by KB Home, and so my insurance was going to run out at the end of the month anyway. So I'm like, what the fuck? And so I go ahead and did it right like the last day before my insurance ran out. They knock you out, man. It's a surgical procedure. You're anesthetized and anesthetized. I don't know the word.
Anesthetized.
So you're knocked out. You wake up and you got a brown stain on the sheet below you. So, but that's how it works. But it's not bad. Yeah, it's not. Listen, it's not bad. It's embarrassing more than anything. But it's a medical procedure, and these people are professionals and are used to it.
They go out of the room and laugh at you. They make jokes about people all the time.
Possibly.
Come on, they're not that professional. They might be in public, but behind closed doors, they're making fun of you. Let's be honest. It's human nature.
But there's nothing bad about it. You know, you it's a camera that goes up there. You're fine, and you don't even know what's going on. I hear they have the one like I don't know if it's actually being performed because I've never had it
They
done.
got a
But
pill.
yeah, the camera pill. You can just swallow it. It
Yeah.
just goes through your system. I mean, that seems like it would be easy and cool. And you know, I mean, given I hope they sterilize it between each go around.
I
But
think it's a one use type thing.
okay. So I mean, listen,
I think I mean that would definitely help with the stigma a lot of guys have of in relation to it because they don't want to go get the test done because they don't want to
But that's the thing, like
what
they
are you
just
gonna
need to get past it because I mean, prostate cancer, from what
the
I know
first
about
time
it,
was hard, but then it got easier for you.
Oh, it was definitely hard, Jeremy. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
You always knew you and Jimmy were close.
Listen, they got to get past the stigma because prostate cancer, from what I understand about it, I've never had it, but if it's caught early, like through regular visits or whatnot, like yearly visits or whatever you have to get, whatever your doctor says you have to get, it's really treatable. But then if it doesn't get caught to like stage 4 or something like that, that's when you're screwed. You have to get like parts cut out.
I thought they said they had a blood test now to find that.
I think they do.
Which
it's the PSA, right?
Which would seem much, again, much less stigma. More people would be willing to do it. Probably just part of your normal blood panel as you get older. But I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not concerned about it, but obviously Fred had to make a joke about that. When you turn 50. So.
Yeah.
But that was fun. I was glad he got to show up for the listeners. We were having for the past week. We were having a little bit of difficulty. He said he could call in. I was like, well, we don't really do phone calls. We haven't worked that out yet. We have Zoom, and so it was kind of a last minute like hit or miss thing whether it was going to happen. And all of a sudden, me and Jeremy up, and he pops up, and we were like, "Yes, we got Elephant Boy." So that made my day. But yeah, that was fun. So I hope everyone enjoyed the interview with Elephant Boy. We don't want to go too much longer. I actually want to save a lot of the stuff for when Vinny gets back. Jeremy needs to do his homework and watch Godzilla vs. Kong, Justice League, and Bad Trip. Yeah. Come on. All of those can be watched with the family. All of them are family movies.
Well, I know my oldest has already watched Snyder's Cut with his buddy. I don't know if I don't know if they watched Kong versus Godzilla or not. We'll see. He said Snyder Cut he really enjoyed.
Yeah, no, I did.
We had a long talk about how just DC just doesn't have the humor in their superhero movies that Marvel puts in there so well. That's one of the things Marvel makes it just a little bit. DC almost takes themselves too seriously with their comic book movies. It's they don't have the Rocket Raccoon, give it a little humor, or Tony being Tony, and they're just missing that humor.
Well, that's the whole thing. Like if you look at the comics, and yeah, things have changed from when I was a kid till now, but Marvel is always a little lighter. DC in the 80s took like a hard turn for like gritty and whatnot, and it's a good read. Don't get me wrong. I'm a big fan
it's
of
not
like
coming across well in movies.
Oh, that's the problem. Like, first of all, I think we've discussed this on prior podcasts. They don't have a Kevin Feige. They don't have an overall guy who's seeing everything. You can say anything you want about Zack Snyder and how he directed Man vs. Steel, Batman vs. Superman, and Justice League, and how there's allegedly was going to be a Snyderverse, with the Justice League 2 and 3, and he could have been the Godfather and Shepherd for all those films, but the fact is he wasn't. And so if you're going to give that kind of control, if you want to do like Marvel, if you want to be like Marvel, you have to have someone who has basically a grand scheme of things. They plan things out 10, 20 movies ahead over at Marvel. They know where they're going. They link everything together. DC, it's almost like, hey, Wonder Woman 84, woo, sounds good, let's do that. And then when they had Joss Whedon take over Justice League, I used to be a big Whedon fan, and obviously I don't know if you've heard, he has a whole bunch of controversies himself nowadays.
No, I haven't seen that yet.
Yeah, we'll talk about that next time. Just so we can get a little bit more input from the other guys, whoever winds up showing up. But
if anyone.
Yeah.
Mike's gonna be here by himself next week, folks.
That's fine. I can never rely on you, asshole. Joss, apparently, I mean, if you watched, did you see Justice League when it came out in 2017?
No.
Okay. So I didn't know what was Zack Snyder and what was Joss Whedon. Okay. I couldn't tell. They weren't really advertising it in the interviews. Like the actors weren't talking out about it. Now it's cut to 3 years later when Ray Fisher started talking out last year. And if you watch the two, which I think you should just so you can see what the difference is, Joss Whedon's is far inferior to Zack Snyder's. Zack Snyder's is an hour plus longer than Joss Whedon's, but it also flows better. It has there's one scene with the Flash, which is it sets him up for his future movie. Hopefully, I think that's going to be happening soon. But he the scene itself, it just plays so well, and it adds that humor that you were talking about. The Flash is basically the comedic element without making him too comedic in the movie. Like, he's just a young kid, he's having fun. He, like, Batman asks him if he wants to join, he's like, oh yeah, sure. Like, he doesn't even have to think about like all the other superheroes. Are like, I don't know if I'm gonna join your little group. And then Flash like, yeah, where, when do you want me to show up?
Yeah, like Civil War, you got Spider-Man, stealing Captain America's shield and sorry, being a little kid. It's
right.
Marvel does that so well, and that to me is missing from DC. That's all I was saying.
No, I mean, and it's going to continue to be missing. I mean, like I said, I think the next thing they have is Black Adam with The Rock, which isn't really going to be linked to any other movies as far as I can tell. Then they're going to have The Flash, whether or not Michael Keaton participates in that. They were going to do a whole Flashpoint thing and have multiverses, so Michael Keaton come in. They were going to have Ben Affleck in. That's what everyone's saying. But then in an interview recently, Michael Keaton said, hey, because of COVID, I don't know if it's worth risking my life to go see this, to film this movie that I haven't even seen a script for yet. So he, there's people saying he was going to be in it, and I would love to see him as Batman, but is it worth it to, possibly get COVID? Hopefully he gets vaccinated and changes his mind.
Can you drag Val Kilmer out there though? Ooh.
Val Kilmer, with he had
Clooney might be a get.
You
might be able to get Chris O'Donnell. I mean, he's got money from the TV show, but you might be able to get him to throw on the Robin cape. Alicia Silverstone's got nothing going on. She could be Batgirl.
I think bringing everyone back in some capacity.
And which Catwoman do you bring? Halle Berry, or you bring them both?
Bring all three, because you got Anne Hathaway too.
Oh, true. Yeah. Good luck with that.
But that's the thing. Like,
it doesn't have the Marvel universe thing where you can get those people to come back for that.
I know
you don't want Val Kilmer, but.
I would love to see Val Kilmer in something. Okay, I have nostalgia for. I didn't love Batman Forever at all. Trust me, it's my third favorite of those Batman movies. I go probably Batman Returns. I go in order basically. Like the George Clooney one is by far obviously the worst. But Batman Begins, Dark Knight, and Dark Knight Rises. You had Chris Nolan's vision, and so you had. Whether or not he I don't think he knew where he was going when he made Batman Begins, but you had him knowing and controlling the movies. That's kind of the thing. Like I said, that's the what's the word I'm looking for? Auteur, maybe. That's someone knowing what they're going to be doing, and rather than having a grand scheme like Marvel, but at least within your movie, he's controlling everything. He knows what he's doing. He's still the EP on like all these films, but I don't know if that's just like a credit and name only, or if he actually has a lot of input. So
probably had something in his deal.
Yeah, plus he's he kind of had that whole thing last year where he was against Tenet being put out, digitally, and he's really all about films being in theaters, which me, I love movies, I love movie theaters. I would love to go, but at the same time, I don't think they're up to par, and I'm not going to a movie theater anytime soon. Maybe when all three of us in this house get double vaccinated, maybe we can possibly chance going to a theater, but we're still going to be masking up. I'm not going to chance somehow getting a new variant because of some asshole that didn't want to do anything and follow any rules to try to help anyone else out. So we'll see. I hope I can get back to the point where I can go see a 40X movie in Orlando again. You ever seen a 40X movie?
No.
Oh,
I thought Triple X was as high as they went.
You're so funny. Have you ever seen a Triple X movie?
No.
I don't mean the ones with Vin Diesel.
Oh, I did see that one, actually. I did. Yeah, I did see Triple X. I take that back. That was a good movie.
You never seen Behind the Green Door or Deep Throat or anything?
No.
Oh, Jeremy, you're missing out, buddy. Anyway.
Man, they couldn't keep my attention for that long. I'm, a couple minutes in and out. Yeah.
You don't like the plot?
Yeah.
I'm telling you, you need to watch Insatiable. That's got a whole plot and everything to it.
Yeah, probably not.
Anyway, 40X. You go
You watching
to
Lord of the G strings at home every day, or
no, I don't watch that kind of stuff. I'm more into amateur stuff.
No.
40X. Listen, Jeremy, they have one up in Orlando. Me and Heather and Sophie love going for big like kind of event movies. I forget the last one we went. It's probably like a Jurassic Park or a King Kong or something. So you go up there, you sit in your seat. The seat moves. So like they actually have they have someone who programs the entire film. So the seat moves at the proper points. It might vibrate, if someone's driving or something, but it's not too crazy. It's not like a roller coaster. But the best thing is like if it's lightning, they have like little strobe lights or something sometimes, and they'll flash it occasionally to make it look like that. If it's raining, they'll have some mist or something. If it's if something sneezes, you might have something
so what was the theater at Epcot? Honey, I
Shrunk the Audience.
Captain EO or whatever.
Yeah. Honey, I Shrunk the Audience. Yeah, exactly. And Shrek at Universal. So it's the same concept.
Bugs
it's just
Life.
More, it's just more involved.
Oh, what was the movie with John Goodman about the Cuban Missile Crisis? And he was putting on a movie in Key West at the time.
That
had all that stuff.
Was that Matinee?
Yes, there you go, Matinee. I remember that shit. That was 4D. Oh, I thought of the damn thing. Fuck you.
I'm a genius because I thought of the title. I bet you would never have thought of that.
Yeah, you're probably right. I remember John Goodman though.
You did. Was it Tobey Maguire? Was Tobey Maguire?
I don't know who the kid was.
I don't remember.
Yeah. Remember they got locked in the fake bomb shelter, whatever. That was funny.
All right. Well, let's wrap it up for this week. What do you think? We're good for the week? We got a nice 3
Nobody
segment
wants to listen to us talk.
I think people like to hear us talk. We got it. Wait, man, we're pushing 800 downloads. We got 75 dedicated listeners according to Anchor, but we'll see. We'll see what happens.
How many of those are alternate accounts that you've made?
Listen, I haven't.
What? Asking.
No, I download my own shows just so I can have a copy, just in case I need to reference it. But so that's
I've downloaded one of our shows.
Well, that's one listener. I subscribe. I will be fully honest, but I don't do it on my work phone because I don't have it connected to an Apple account or anything like that. I know Heather obviously subscribes, I think. And so that's another one.
She had to.
Hey, she's in the middle of the Zeb Wells interview now. She says it's good. She did bring up, like I discussed with you, your horrible background noise. But hey, it's not so bad now with the dog. Did you step on the rat? That's good.
No.
No? Okay. All right, guys. Well, let's see.
Sorry. Eat a dick. Sorry,
there you go.
Eat a dick. There you go.
You know how to reach us. Go to theusualsaints.com. Find all our social media stuff. We're at The Usual Saints on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. We have a Facebook group. You can call us 240-724-6877. Leave a voicemail. We can take live calls if I remember to turn it on. But since no one's done that except for during the celebrity interviews that we actually advertise, which I couldn't do with friends because I wasn't totally 100% sure. Otherwise, I bet we would have got some calls to talk to Elephant Boy. That would have been great, man. But, you never can tell. But leave us a voicemail, guys, or email us. Any topics, comments, questions, we're happy to oblige. We just here to entertain you the best we can. What are you looking at?
Happy to oblige? That was kind of weird.
Why? I'm happy to oblige our fans and listeners.
The accent. Where the fuck is the accent coming from?
There was
happy
no accent.
To oblige.
I'm not British.
Yes, every time you say the word oblige, you're putting on some kind of fucking accent.
What do you want me to say? Oblige? Oblige?
No,
Oblig?
no,
Obliggy?
You just I don't know. You're fucking weird.
Happy to oblige. Happy to oblige.
You're just like a leprechaun.
Oh, I'm not. I am Irish, motherfucker.
No, you're not.
I am. What are you talking about? No. I'm quarter Irish, quarter German, and 50% mutt.
And what's the other 25%?
I said quarter, and 50.
I'm fucking joking, you dumbass.
Oh, God, you're really bad at math. You forgot college stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay.
All right, guys. Follow us everywhere. Listen to us. The biggest thing I want you to do, though, I want you to share, whether it's an episode, whether it's the social media, whether it's the entire podcast link, our website. I just want the word to get out there. Let people decide, because I want people to listen to us because I think we're pretty entertaining. I don't know how Jeremy feels.
Some days
he could take it or leave it. Next week, hopefully we have Vinny back. We'll see if I can get any interviews lined up. Right now, I don't have any. But if also, that's another thing, I guess, Jeremy. If anyone has any people they'd like us to interview, whether or not it's just a business owner or someone famous that we want to reach out to, shit, I'm willing to try. You see, I reached out to Fred Schreiber. I got Elephant Boy on the show. That's a pretty big get, I gotta say. I don't care. You have a whack packer on the show? I'm going to see if I can get some more whack packers.
Yeah. I don't know. We'll see if they're allowed.
Yeah, I know. Poor Ronnie, man. At least Ronnie wrote me back. No one else from the Stern Show writes me back. And listen, I'm not trying to be like the wrap-up show or anything like that. I'm just a big fan of Stern. I just wish he would allow his people to talk more. He talks so much shit about podcasts, and I know why, because a lot of podcasts sound like shit. I feel like ours sounds pretty good, especially when I run it through the filters. A lot of them sound like they're in tin cans and they don't have anything to talk about. We come prepared. We have a topic list. We have interviews with guests, and our interviews are pretty amazing because I'm a great interviewer. But Jeremy chimes in occasionally. Oh yeah, don't give me that look.
Moving on.
All right, guys. Well, I appreciate you listening this week. For Jeremy and myself, and for the other guys, even though they're not here, I'm Mike D. You've been listening to The Usual Saints.
Hey. That's my Vinny impression.
What did he didn't have his false teeth in? Is that what that was?
It
was like,
I can't do low voices. Bite me.
You got why are you raising your hand?
I didn't know how that worked. I just wanted to try it.
That's if you want to get someone's attention during a meeting.
I know. I just wanted to try it. Looked like fun. Oh, sorry.
Right.
I lower my hand now.
Thanks, motherfucker. All right.